Hi there, my name is Fabi Guntovich, and I'd like to begin this talk with thanking Alexia for this amazing opportunity to be here with you, sharing some information, knowledge, and most of all, love. Hopefully, it will help you deal with these challenging times in a better and more positive way. When we talk about relationships, we talk about dynamics, and we cannot talk about relationships with other people, with our partners, with our kids, with our loved ones, family, co-workers, and everything, if we don't talk about the relationship we have with ourselves and the relationship we have with the world in front of us, because it's all connected and one impacts the other. So I'd like to begin this reflection talking a little bit about the kinds of challenges we are all facing. The first one is external, and it's completely out of our control as individuals. It's the challenge of when this whole thing is gonna get solved and end. Either they're gonna find a vaccine or a cure, when, where, who's gonna die, who's gonna survive, will I be safe, will my loved ones be safe. So all these worries are external challenges, and even though we can do something, it goes up to a limit. We cannot solve these situations by ourselves. The second kind of challenge is inner challenge. Is about how we feel, what choices we make during this time. The challenges that are inner challenges are the feelings we have. It's the anxiety we suffer, are the fears. Fear of dying, fear of losing someone, fear of losing money, fear of losing our financial stability, fear of not being able to cope with all this, right? The feeling of powerlessness, because we are powerless when we look at the coronavirus so far. But right now, the only thing we can do is not feel powerless over ourselves. And sometimes it's sketchy because we tend to find power over something external, not internal. The frustration and the vulnerability we are facing, it all kind of boils inside us. And unless we are ready for it, and unless we are willing to look at ourselves, at our feelings, and work on ourselves, like self-empowerment, self-knowledge, self-acceptance, self-love, it's gonna be harder, because the way we relate to our partners and to others in our lives is like a mirror of how we are relating to ourselves. There are two very common but also very negative reactions to those feelings, fears, and negative emotions that I just talked about. The first one is to shutting off our loved ones, our partners. And this kind of reaction, it's like an attempt to protect ourselves from what we cannot, or we think we cannot deal with. We try to pretend we are not suffering. We try to pretend we are not afraid of not being able to cope with it, that we simply shut them off. We keep them a distance apart, and we build a wall between us. But in a relationship, when we do that, when we shut someone off and we do not share with them our feelings, our fears, our emotions, because we fear that doing so would put us in a vulnerable spot, in an attempt to protect ourselves, and we just do the opposite. The result is the opposite, because it's going to increase your loneliness, your feelings of powerlessness, your feelings of vulnerability, because not only you will keep feeling all those hard and negative emotions, but you're gonna be alone. And you're gonna lose the support of your loved one. And mostly your loved ones will not see it this way. They will think you're behaving like this because you do not love them, because you do not care for them, because you do not care for the relationship, and they are gonna resent it. So please do not make things worse shutting yourself down and shutting people off. It's not a good way to pretend that you're not feeling bad. So honor your feelings, honor your emotions, honor your vulnerability, because you are human, and share with them. I'm positive that they will look at you and see braveness. Another way that usually is used when someone is under this kind of challenges and frustration and vulnerability and fears and not being able to control the situation and fear of the future is lashing out. What we have to understand here is that when people lash out, being abusive on the way they talk, screaming sometimes, what they are doing is thinking if they could control their partners, their kids, the people closest to them, they would be controlling all the things they do not have the control of. We cannot control other people. We cannot control external challenges. We cannot control life. No one can. The only thing we could control is ourselves, is our feelings, is our emotions, or at least our reaction to our feelings and emotions. People who lash out are very insecure. What they show is that they are not able to control themselves. They are not able to breathe and think and be strategic on how to react to situations. So they just pretend they are very tough and lash out on people. So if you are someone who's been lashing out, don't feel bad about yourself. You probably didn't know all this that I'm telling you. Just breathe. Learn that it's okay. It's okay to feel frustrated. It's okay to feel anxious. It's okay to feel powerless. But it's not gonna solve these emotions lashing out on people. If not, it's gonna make things worse, much worse, because you're gonna be ruining the very things that could support you. And if you are with someone that lashes out on you in an attempt to control their own emotions, either this person seeing this video perhaps rethinks his behavior, or it's better for you to take some time off, because those external challenges are gonna be there for a while. I don't know for how long, but it's gonna be there. They are going to keep provoking internal challenges, and we need to be able to self-regulate and to be able to be beside someone with love and with at least kindness. Nothing justifies hurting someone else's feelings. There are some tips that I would love to share with you. First of all, rethink our values and priorities. Rethink, stop, and think a little bit about what really matters. Your health, your loved ones, your relationships. What? You tell me. As I said before, honor your feelings. Do not try to hide them. We all feel good and difficult feelings. Accept that you feel them, that they are there for a reason. They are trying to protect you, but either you deal with them or you're going to be subject to them. And then it's tough because you're going to react according to those negative feelings instead of acting strategically in your relationships and in your life. Practice empathy. When you honor your feelings, you are able to accept yourself accept your feelings. And when you do that, you are also able, finally, to accept others. Practicing empathy will help you deal with yourself and deal with others in a more kind and assertive and loving way than we usually do when we are not kind with ourselves. Planning with your partner, with people that love you, with your family, with your kids. Planning together what you're gonna do tonight after dinner, what you're gonna do tomorrow, what you're gonna do when all this is over. There is life after this. There is life in a couple of hours. We are gonna be together. We are together. It tells this person and it tells yourself that I want to be with you. I'm gonna still be wanting and willing to be with you when this is over, tonight, tomorrow, in 10 years. It's so good to plan, to have dreams together, to have goals together. No matter how hard it is today, tomorrow it's probably gonna be better. Gratitude. One thing that keeps people feeling good about themselves in life and in a relationship is gratitude. Whenever you feel anxious, nervous, worried, whatever, stop, breathe, and find one thing, one little reason to be grateful for, and connect with this delicious feeling of gratefulness. It brings joy, it brings hope, it remembers us that everything passes, nothing is forever and nothing is flat. Life is like this, but it's okay. And be present in this moment. It's when we face challenging times like this, it's very, very easy for us to fall under the trap of being in the past. Life was good and when blah blah blah, and feeling sorry for ourselves. It's very bad because it disconnects you with the possibility of happiness in the present. And when we focus only on the future, which is even more of a possibility under the challenge we are living today, we also disconnect from the present. We get so anxious because what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen tomorrow, next week, next month? What's gonna happen with the economy, with the country, with the company? Wow, it's a lot of uncertainty. Disconnect from the past and from the future. Connect with the present. What can I do now? What can I do right this moment for myself, for my partner, for my kids, for my loved ones? What can I do now? There's no other moment where you can say thank you than now. There's no other moment where you can say I'm sorry than now. There's no better moment than now to say I love you to your loved ones. I hope this has been a good path and a good time, and I love you. I love the human that is inside you. I love life. I love being here, and I hope you live life through the lens and choices of love. See you. Thank you.